Hey, this is Kolten Bridgeman, defenseman for the Regina Pats, and this is Pats Cast with Kevin and Chris.
Braxton Whitehead, left circle, shoots, pass, rebound, scores! It's Zach Moore parked in front of the net, and that's where he gets the majority of his goals. Semenek, pass up the middle, breakaway, Kovacevic all alone, pass in front, great save, Kolten Pine! Holy smokes, that's the save of the year! Chitchkin to Babcock, left point, pass in front, one-timer, scores! It's the Greek, Zach Pantelakis! Brown works his way up top for Regina, he shoots it, it's blocked, holds it in at the line, Brown another try, he scores! Another goal for Caden Brown, and he stays red hot. Clausen in over the Red Deer line, hands it off to Wilson. Now into the slot, McNutt shoots, scores! In his hometown, Ephraim McNutt with his third of the season and first as a member of the Regina Pats. Brown at the right circle, Babcock at the blue line, top of the left circle, a chance to Babcock. One-timer scores! On a deflection in front! It's the first WHL goal for Cohen Clausen. Grab that puck! Now Yakubchuk steps around Whitehead. Cross-ice pass finds Kendall, right circle, centered across, Yakubchuk shoots, what a save! A sprawling stop by Malacca. Yakubchuk back across the Regina line. Good poke check by the 16-year-old Lancer. Pats with numbers the other way. Chance hands it off at the blue line. Mays walks in, he loads to the left wing circle, he scores! Pantelakis, left circle there. Brandon shoots, he scores! First as a member of the Regina Pats.
Just a great rep by Brandon there.
Welcome to Pats Cast, the unofficial Regina Pats podcast. It's episode 190. It's January 6th. Chris here, Kevin there. How are we doing tonight, Kev?
Not too bad, I guess. Kind of an eventful last little bit. 4 games, a couple player moves. It's been interesting, and there's still 3 days to the deadline.
It's that time of year, right?
Exactly.
Some more stuff maybe to come, possibly to come.
Definitely to come. They got it there. There's too many players still.
Yeah. We talked about in our mid-season kind of show, we talked about they've got too many bodies on the roster, and so they've made a couple moves, and they said probably some more to come. Lots happened around the league. We'll maybe touch on some of the bigger ones later, but I think we'll start with the week that was on the ice. We'll start with these games. Moose Jaw, losing both to Moose Jaw, just as a general overview, it's a tough week there, right? Like, we were talking about, maybe we shouldn't win too many games, but still losing to Moose Jaw sucks.
Anytime losing to Moose Jaw sucks.
Right? You split, okay, whatever, but to lose both, like that's...
Like, the games weren't terrible. They were close, but the first game, Pat's penalty kill, not good.
Yeah, it's too many penalties. Just taking too many penalties, right? Like,
too many penalties. 4 for 5 on the power play with Moose Jaw in the first game. Well, one was a power play empty net goal, so it really doesn't count. But still, 3 power play goals. Pats had the lead after the second, and they blew it in the third. So
and to take a penalty right at the end there to not give yourself a chance to tie it up, like. Yeah,
exactly.
Right. And then some of the penalties just,
a too many men penalty to be
another one. Yeah, there was another one.
That was the penalty at the end. Was
it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. But I mean, was there more than one? There was one in Calgary, was there not? Too many.
That was when Pine, they pulled Pine and he went back to the net. And
right. And then he went back and then somebody
tried to save it, and it was too late.
Yeah, middle of the game on Calgary too on Sunday there. There was too many men as well. So there's been a few of those lately.
Well, the players some of them are still kind of new. They're still trying to figure out what's going on. They're figure out the roles when they have guys in and out of the lineup still. And all of a sudden, Eglund is sick, and now Wilson's suspended, so they're down to 11 forwards now, right? As of right now, so hard to say what's going to happen.
But yeah, we kind of talked about Eggland last show. You pointed him out that he's really come along, and he looked good in the. It was the first Moose Jaw game. He had a couple breakaways. Unfortunately, wasn't able to score on either of them. But and then he's been out since that game. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
he's missed the last 3.
Yeah, he's been ill.
So that's too bad. But it is what it is.
Hopefully he doesn't lose a step.
Yeah. Hopefully, it doesn't get mono or something or whatever, right? So
Don't say that. Get him back in the lineup. He needs to be in there.
Yeah.
He's done pretty well.
yeah.
Took him a few games to get going, and I think he's done pretty well since.
No, for sure, and it's a big step from AAA to the dub, right? So, and you weren't too sure at first, but like I said, he's really come along.
Yep.
But and then the second game, it's like, okay, you spot him a 3-goal lead.
Oh, that was so disappointing.
You make the comeback, and then you take a penalty late again and give him another power play. The only power play goal they scored in that game, but it was the dagger with 40 seconds.
They scored
to
2
go.
that game.
Did they? Okay, they got one early. Okay, but
Which a power play with less than 2 minutes left, tie game, or 2.5 minutes left, or whatever it was.
Yeah,
and a tie game, and
it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
it was nice to see them battle back.
Yeah.
Get back into that game. 3 goals in 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes in the second period. It was nice to see.
Yeah.
But
but then that game we got to see Madden Milwaukee, so his first appearance. I wasn't able to watch a ton of this game. I didn't go to the game. I stayed home to watch a football game. That was a waste of my time. But
shame,
terrible.
Shame.
It was a playoff game, so I didn't want to miss it. But
it wasn't much of a playoff game though. What was the final score in that game?
42-21, I think. So
it got a little bit more respectable.
Something
I think
like
you
that,
sent me the score was 34-0 or something like that.
Yeah, it was 34-0 at halftime. That's when I shut it off. So I was like, this is a waste of time. But so I wasn't paying super close attention to it, but it was nice to see him get in there. I watched the Calgary game a lot closer. He looked really good in Calgary, I thought.
Yeah, he's looked in both games. He looked decent.
Yeah.
A couple goals I'm sure he wants back, but he looked decent otherwise. I'm not gonna complain about him.
No, and he's not young either, right? Yeah, sure, it was his first start, but he's 18. Like
But he's younger than the other 2 we have.
He is, yes, but he's not like a 16-year-old or something that the Pats took advantage of in Brandon, right? So
yeah.
And then the Calgary game, obviously the Calgary game's Calgary because they're a pretty good team, but
even without a couple guys, they're still
a pretty good team. Yeah. So kind of can't fault him there. He gave up 5, yes, but whatever. That's not the worst. But yeah, he made some big saves in that Calgary game. What did you like from the Moose Jaw game?
Oh, he was solid, but it's that power play goal at the end was not good. That was kind of rough.
Yeah. Okay.
It seems like Moose Jaw's got their power play set up where they've got a kind of how similar to the Ovechkin style in Washington, where they have a guy kind of in the one spot just parked there.
Just wait.
Kovacevic.
Yeah.
The guy's not going to miss much. He's got 20 goals or 21 goals. So.
I know. And it's they don't have a ton of scoring Moose Jaw, but they've got some guys that can score.
They've got a couple guys that can score.
Yeah. Like McKenzie, he picked up 2 in the first game, and then like you said, Kovacevic, he scored the game winner, and those guys are the one that really took advantage of him last time the Pats played Moose Jaw, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There are 4 guys that can scored like the 4 goals. It was here, right? So right before Christmas break. But hey, we get Moose Jaw again this coming weekend, so maybe
on the Friday, the day after the deadline.
Yeah, so maybe the Pats can figure something out there.
Well, they're going to be without Lakovic for a while. It sounds like he's going to be gone for a bit.
Right, he's hurt. Yes. I didn't.
So that
I seen that, but I didn't see what the time frame was. But
I heard it's a few weeks.
is it okay?
That's what I heard.
So
I don't know how true it is, but we'll see what the weekly report brings out.
yeah, because he didn't play in these games, did he? No, not the second.
I don't
one.
think so. He didn't play in the second one for sure.
I don't see him in the first.
No,
one
I don't think he
either.
played in either one. I
No.
don't recall
So,
seeing either one.
Even
so.
with him out, the Moose Jaw was still able to pick up both wins, which yeah, whatever.
It sucks, but it's okay.
Yeah. Then they head off to Red Deer. It seems Red Deer and Regina play some tight games. Like it's wild how many tight games there are with these two, and it goes to overtime, and the Pats pull it out in overtime. This Red Deer doesn't score at all, so
They're not a big goal scoring team.
no, to give up 3 was kind of a little surprising. But
Well, had whatchamacallem, their starting goalie, not got hurt, the Pats might have actually done a little bit better.
yeah,
Because once Shore got hurt, it seemed like Red Deer regrouped. Witzke is a good goalie,
yeah,
decent to good goalie. I don't see him enough to really to say how good of a goalie he is. He's got good stats.
yeah. He's the starter,
And
right? And they were getting the
Seemed
backup
like
and Shore.
he came in and pretty much shut the door until like near the end of the third period almost.
Yeah. But yeah, the Pats had 2 quick goals there on Shore in the first period, and then you jump out that lead, and then it was kind of nothing. And then, like I said, the Wilson takes that penalty, and then Red Deer gets a couple, and then Klassen gets his first goal. Nice little tip. Yeah.
Finally off the
Schneid.
Finally off the Schneid. He's on the scoreboard. It's
Yeah.
good. I was hoping he would have scored against Moose Jaw and Regina, but hey, it's good. He got the goal in Red Deer.
Yeah.
It was a nice one. Nice tip.
It was, yeah, definitely. And then take it to overtime, and Pine makes a big save, and then it goes down the other way.
Well, he made a partial save, and then Hamilton
Yeah.
apparently pulled it off the goal line, but they
Yeah,
never
that's
showed the
what-
replay, so you
There
couldn't
was
tell.
no replay, yeah. So he made one save for sure, and then they said there was no
Sounds
replay.
like
But
Hamilton
yeah.
took it off the goal line.
that's what Brad said in the post game. I listened to that.
Yeah.
So he said that, yeah. And then go down, and Brown kind of loses the puck there a little bit, kind of makes a circle, and then sets up Whitehead for a one-timer. So that was a nice goal there to.
I'm glad he connected. 'Cause the way Whitehead's been going this year, it's
Snake bitten.
he's been snake bitten. The way it's been going, Witzke probably would have saved it, but I'm glad he got it past him.
Well, man, he almost hit him in the head
He
with
did
it.
that
Like,
one.
once he came across, and sometimes those one-timers you go like too far the other way, right, and put it
Yeah.
on the far side. But yeah, Witzke almost made the save with his head. It just whistled right by his head in the middle of the net.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was
Well,
nice to see Whitehead.
Whitehead
get it.
got all of it hammered home. It was nice to see him get that goal.
Definitely.
Needs to do more of that.
Yeah.
Score.
Yeah. I know he's only.
I'm
got
sure he
5.
knows that. Everybody
Yeah.
knows that. All
Like I
of them
said-
know that, I'm sure. But
Like I said, I talked to him that after that one game. He said, "Yeah, I would. It's frustrating, but I'm creating chances. I'm getting chances, so I just got to stick with it and roll with it, right?" So,
yeah.
but yeah, and then the quick turnaround, Calgary, man, these Calgary games.
Well, first off, that was an
Okay.
afternoon game. After the game, their bus broke down. They had to charter another bus that finally
To
got them to Calgary.
Yeah,
And then in the morning, the bus never showed up, so they had to order Ubers.
for everybody.
Everybody had Ubers. They had to order 10 Ubers to get to the rink.
Yeah,
That's
wild.
insanity.
That's wild. So
And then they came in and they did okay. Like Calgary's Calgary. They got some pretty high flying players.
yeah, and then Milwaukee's getting the start again. So
Yeah.
you're thinking like, okay, they kind of went all in on the Red Deer game to get the win there, and then throw Milwaukee to the Wolves, quote unquote. Not saying, but I mean, he played all right. Like
He played
they
fine.
were in it. Like
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was kind of the situation there. It's maybe they got to the rink a little later than normal, but
I was told they got to the rink at 11:20.
Yeah, they said it on the broadcast. Yeah, okay. So
The
that's
game
an
was
hour
at 1
45.
o'clock time, so it's not much time.
No.
A lot of those guys like being there like 2 or 3 hours early at least.
Yeah. Well, and with it being the early game, after you get in late, right? It's we've seen this Calgary situation. Calgary and their 10 teams playing out of this building. Like, you got to play at friggin' 11 a.m. in the morning because there's 5 games going on that day, and like, yeah, it's unfortunate.
But I'm not going to complain about the performance. They did fine.
No, and yeah, and I think one kind of nice point that Spencer Welke made, Mr. Colorman in Calgary there, he's like, you can kind of see they lost a little bit of steam in the third period.
Yeah.
They gave up a couple goals. They got one real late, but they didn't have much offensively in the third period, that's for sure.
And when they did have chances, Hauser was there to shut the door most times. Like, he's a pretty good goalie.
Yeah, he is.
He's had the Pat's number, I think, pretty much his whole career. So
he's playing with Winnipeg,
Wow.
who had the Pats number as a team, right?
That's true. But he was the goalie. He was the one who had to stop the puck.
I know. Yeah, he's got a lot of experience in this league, and it was his first game with Calgary. They're one of their new additions, one of their half a dozen new additions.
Many new additions.
So yeah, and yeah, you still got like Kindle and Wetch and those guys. One guy that didn't play much was Yakemchuk, or wherever you say his name. Butchered it again.
Yakemchuk. He got hurt.
Yeah,
he got hurt on the Pat's first goal.
He went down. I went back and looked at it. It looked pretty innocent. He kind of, it was Klassen that poked the puck off his stick, and then he maybe got a little stick in the feet, and he went down. It didn't look anything crazy, but he didn't really return after that. And
he didn't come back at all. So
they were short a D-man, but I mean, that
didn't really matter.
Didn't hurt them. No.
And they were without their Sawyer Minio, and they didn't have Tanner Howe in the lineup because World Junior stuff. So
they were just getting back from World Junior, so they're not back with the team yet. They'll probably be back this weekend, I assume.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah, plus all their other additions that they're hauling in this week. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, overall, not the greatest week. If you split the Moose Jaw games, okay, you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. Splitting that and then splitting the 2 in Alberta, like, nothing wrong with that week. But just to lose 2 is just kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah, especially to Moose Jaw.
Yeah, yeah.
But hey, overall, they got to win. Deadline's coming up, so hopefully, once the deadline hits, they'll get settled.
Yeah, right.
Get
Players
everybody
are still maybe on edge, kind of. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
right?
with the amount of players that have moved and stuff, like,
anybody.
It seems like anybody is game right now.
Yeah, right.
And there's still 3 days as we're recording this at 10 o'clock on the 6th. So deadline's 3 days.
Is at 7 o'clock our time on Thursday. So basically 3 days.
Yeah.
So I guess you want to head into the off ice stuff.
Sure.
So then, obviously, the Pats made a couple moves. Tyson Buchkowski left the team due to personal reasons. So, whatever's happening there, hopefully he's doing okay and does whatever he needs to do to get back and
yeah, exactly. Wish him all the best.
Yeah, I don't know what his situation is, if he's looking to play somewhere else or taking a break from hockey even, who knows, but yeah, so there's that. I mean, that helps the D kind of situation a bit. I mean, he was an 18-year-old. You don't really want to lose an older guy, but it is what it is, right? Like, because you don't think, I mean, this is looking ahead to next year. Who knows what's going to happen in the next 3 days, but you're probably not going to carry both Chichkin and McNutt next year. So then you're going to lose one of them for sure.
But yeah, hopefully whatever is going on there, hopefully everything is good.
Yeah. So yeah, it's tough.
And if he wants to get back into hockey, or if he stepped away or whatever, hopefully everything is good with him.
Yeah. And then the other one is Ty Spencer moving to Wenatchee. So
there was another trade before that. They traded prospect Dylan LeBret,
right. Yes,
his rights to Tri-City
for
a conditional 4th and a 9th in 2027. He was the Pats' was first round pick in the U.S. prospects draft 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah. So obviously a guy that probably wasn't going to sign here. Like they moved, what's his name earlier in the year?
Brandon
Dumphy, right? He went to Wenatchee, right?
Yeah.
So moving these American guys to American teams, maybe their chance of signing, and that's probably what the conditional pick is, right?
Most likely, yeah. If
you get the
he
9th
actually
just for
shows
the
up.
rights, and then the 4th if he signs or whatever, right?
That's probably how it is. That's how I would assume it is.
But yeah, and then actual body Ty Spencer,
and
off
then the
roster.
Ty Spencer.
Yeah, to Wenatchee for 7th. I mean, to get something for a 20-year-old, you're not going to have on the roster next year, freeing up some space for the young kids.
It's sad to see him go because
yes.
he seemed like he was. Once he got here, he seemed like he was a lifer.
Yeah, and
even though he wasn't a full-time Pat,
but
like
he's been here a long time, right? So
he's one of the longest serving, and it's sad to see him go.
Yeah,
wish him all the best in Wenatchee, and hopefully he has a good rest of his WHL career and goes on to do whatever. If he plays U Sports or whatever next year,
yeah,
awesome. Good luck to Ty.
Wenatchee's kind of hot right now. They just rolled Tri-City 10-2 on Sunday, so he's coming.
And Portland the night before 6-3.
Yeah, so he's coming to a pretty good situation. He didn't play in either of those games, but yeah, Wenatchee, and then Wenatchee's going to be here in February, so he'll be back.
So we'll get to see him.
And there was a lot of, I don't want to say what the word is, crumbling, I guess, that he got moved, but I think he was pretty well liked in this community.
Yeah,
like I said, because he's been here for so long, right? So
yeah, and he was so close to home too.
Yeah. So
now he's in Wenatchee, in the middle of Washington, there,
middle of nowhere,
long ways away.
Yeah.
But all the best to Ty. Hopefully he can light it up for Wenatchee in the second half.
Yeah, and get an opportunity wherever next year somewhere.
Yeah, so whatever hockey you decide. If he continues playing hockey, if he plays U Sports or whatever.
Yeah.
Turns it into a pro career overseas. Hopefully he does well wherever he goes.
Definitely. And then that's it for Regina news for now.
Still about 3 days until the deadline, so
yeah, lots of time.
The Pats have 220s, so I'm assuming they're going to probably stick with 220s the rest of the way.
Yeah, I doubt. But hey,
if
somebody comes calling, you never know, right?
Yeah, but as of right now, they've got the 220s and 7 19-year-olds.
Yes, that's still.
And two of them are goalies.
Yeah.
So,
well, like I said, Huey's gone for sure next year.
Yeah, Huey's gone for sure next year because he signed pro deal.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that something's going to have to happen. They have too many 19s. You don't want to have to make decisions next year when you're doing the full rebuild this year. So.
Yeah, and like kind of said, you got 3 forwards, 2D, and 2 goalies. So, like, I think Brown over this last little bit, I mean, ever since he's been here, he's looked real good. Like, what does he have?
Very
9
good.
goals? 9 goals as a Pat?
He's been unbelievable.
Yeah, so I don't think, unless somebody's, like, wanting him for a run, like, I don't think you're moving him or you're keeping him for next year, right? Like, unless somebody's, like, really impressed with him. Because, I don't know if he just wasn't getting enough time in Everett and he wasn't getting enough opportunity because he only had 4 goals in Everett in 14 games, and now he's got 9 with Regina in 17. So, yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully he does well the rest of the year if he's here or not. Hopefully he's still here because we need to have a veteran that can actually score some goals here. So
yeah, I mean, you wouldn't want to give him up, but I mean, if somebody's asking for him this year for a run,
I'm not going to speculate on any players because it's not my place. Because we didn't expect a Cole Temple trade, and stuff like that.
Right? So I'm not saying he's here because they just brought him in. You never know, right?
Yeah, you never know.
He's impressed, right? So
yeah,
but
a lot of the new guys have really impressed. So
yeah, and I mean, you look at what what the guys have done that have left, not as well, I don't think. So I think Miller's really done well in these trades. Like, you think about this one, and you got a first with Brown. Like, this trade is looking better by the day, right?
Yeah.
So, but so maybe one of these 19s move. Maybe they can find somebody to trade with, but if they don't, they don't. It is what it is, right?
And they have one too many defensemen. Got to figure.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to figure something out there, I would assume. But
yeah, that's now that everybody's healthy, you got
because you can't continue scratching
two guys.
Deschamps and Smith all the time, or having them play a shift at D and then play some forward here and there.
Yeah, you want them
Need them
playing
playing D.
regularly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have one extra guy, right? That's fine. But to have two, like we see in the forwards, like they had three before, and now that Buchkowski's gone, that helps. And then so who knows? Lots of time. Miller's probably looking at his phone.
Well, there's been 12 trades since the beginning of the season. So what's 2 more or 3 more? Right? Like,
yeah.
Nothing's off the table. It's like, I'm still surprised by the Temple trade.
Yeah.
I'm glad it happened for both the players. Both the players have been doing really well in both places.
Yeah.
But it was one of those. It was something that I did not expect.
No, not at all.
At all. Because we were talking literally the week before that he was going to be the guy that we're trying to build around a little bit. And, whoop, gone.
But like we said, Mays has looked good. His skill set is something else. He's got some serious hands. Like, he can dangle. He had a pretty nice goal in Calgary. But yeah.
And once the roster gets settled and they can figure out their roles, I'm sure it'll start to connect with them a little bit better.
Come together here in the second half. Everybody can just relax and not worry about, I might get moved. Am I the next guy?
Exactly. Right? Yeah.
So, but yeah. Anything else you got? League wide, or you want to talk about a couple of the trades?
Yeah, the couple of trades in the last couple of days here.
Yeah, Molendyke just went down tonight to Medicine Hat. They got
that was a surprise. I didn't expect. Oh, Caden Price trade just happened as we speak, like 8 minutes ago.
Okay.
Caden Price to Lethbridge for Will Sharp and Harrison Butker. Bettinger, goalie, and 5 draft picks. I know I butchered that name, but
the transaction page is like not loading, so people must be refreshing it here.
It's Will Sharp in the playing rights to 2007 born goalie Harrison Bettinger, a first round pick in 26, a 4th and 25, a 5th and 27, a 6th and 25, and a conditional 4th and 25 for Price. That was it. Price is 1 for 7. Or 5, yes, 6.
So we were just looking at the Molendyke trade. It was 2 because Misha Volotovsky went as well.
Yeah. For
2 players and 4 picks? 4 picks?
I think it was 4 or 5. Yeah.
It was like a first, second, third, fourth, fifth. But then they got 2 younger players back though. So because people are like, oh, they only got 1 first, but they got 2 pretty good 17s, right?
Yeah.
And there's people commenting, well, that's kind of the same thing with the Howe Hamilton deal, right? You're getting Hamilton back, so you're not getting a first per se, right? You're getting him instead. So but yeah, now
this Central is starting to turn into 2017-18 all over again.
East Division.
Moose Jaw, Regina Swift Current. The arms race. Man. Can't believe the deals like
like the Minio deal. That was a lot. 2 firsts for Minio.
Yeah. Don't know enough about Minio. I can't.
No.
I'm not saying that was a bad trade or not, but it seems like it was a little bit overpayment compared to the Molendyke and now the Price trade.
Yeah, and it all depends on the players. Maybe the players weren't as high end in the Minio deal. I can't, like I said, I can't see the page who the names are, and plus they're young guys. We don't know a ton about them, but But
And we don't see enough of Minio to actually have a
No.
real thought on him. And I'm not going to gauge the Team Canada stuff because that was that.
That was a disaster. Do you want to touch on Team Canada? Tanner Howe getting player of the game, and unfortunately the last game they played, nice little goal.
Yeah. It was a nice goal.
Yeah. But it was unfortunate.
But that was
a tough tournament.
Oh man, that was such a hard tournament to watch. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that tournament.
I didn't sit down and watch it too closely. There was other things going on. There's Pat's games going on. We did the show in the one game, so I didn't watch a ton of it. But just from
I watched
the
too much.
outside, it didn't look that great, right? But
no, it was not a good tournament.
Everybody on the internet knows what needs to happen, so they're
listening
the
to the after the stuff happened after the tournament ended. They were saying that the team didn't practice after games. They didn't do morning skates and stuff like that, or they barely did morning skates. It's like,
that's interesting
because they're worried about fatigue.
Yeah.
Like, you guys haven't played together. Like, I'm not blaming the players. Not blaming the players at all.
You need that
like
practice time. The power play
time.
The power play was struggling, right?
It's from the top down. Like something's broken up top, and it just went right down, and it just looked. It looked bad. It was not good.
And like everybody's ragging on the head coach, which is whatever. But I mean, like Mike Johnston was there. Like I have pretty high respect for that guy. Like he's been around junior players for a long time. He just took Portland to the WHL final last year, and then you got what was his name, Chris Lazary. Like he coaches Saginaw. They just won the Memorial Cup. Like there's some good coaches there, and like it's a group effort. It's not all on just Dave Cameron, but I mean he's taking the brunt of it.
But just his answers, some of his answers that he came up with, that's why he's getting the brunt of it.
Okay,
he's bearing the weight because saying the players are going to get fatigued. Like, come on, it's a short tournament. You need to practice. You need to know what you're doing.
Yeah, you don't have to have high intensity practices. You need to work out. You need chemistry, right?
Exactly.
Right. You got to get this figured out. So,
and like, I'm not going to get into the choices for the team
choices,
or not, because I'm sure if they had a chance to meld together, they would have been fine.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I don't think a player here or a player there is going to change the fortunes of that team. Like two different players,
it might have. It might have, because they didn't score any goals when they needed to score goals. Like they could. It was bad. Like some of the plays were not good. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Not much else you can say about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a GM. I'm glad I'm not making that team. We didn't really. Maybe next time we talk to Alan Miller, we'll talk about that. Like the weight of making those decisions and how tough is those decisions, right? He put together a couple winning teams, so. But
how much is the politics in there too, right? There's got to be some politics, because how many Ontario Hockey League guys were in it this year?
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, you got two Ontario coaches, but the GM is what's his name from Lethbridge, so right, like Peter Anholt. So I mean, but the way he Miller said, he's like, we knew Howe was making it, so like he was making the team before camp. They knew, right? So
yeah,
but yeah, it was disappointing. But I mean, at least we're not Sweden. 1 gold in 44 years after dominating every single round robin tournament, and they went.
That's true.
Medalists again this year, unfortunately for them.
That is true.
Would they win like 40 round robin games in a row and they didn't medal or didn't have a gold medal in that time?
Something like that. Yeah, they won a whole bunch.
It was wild. So, but it's unfortunate to see US win again. It's like watching Moose Jaw win. Screw them. But yeah, so you got anything else, or we move on to our interview this week?
No, I think that's about it. Should cover the couple games that we have coming up and then go into that.
Yeah, like I said, we got Moose Jaw coming up again in Moose Jaw, and then Portland's here for Retro Night.
Retro Fanny Pack Night.
Oh, exciting. Everything old is new again, right?
Yes, of course it is. Did it ever go out of style?
Depending who you ask, right?
That's true.
So.
I do see a lot of fanny packs around. So.
Oh yeah, they're definitely back.
And in some cases, I don't think they ever left.
No. But yeah, nice to see Portland in here. They're doing all right out west there. What are they? 21-14, 2-1.
They
right in
lost
the middle.
to Wenatchee the other day too. So
yeah, so they just lost. I don't know where the Pats are in their schedule, but it's probably one of the first games on the road trip, I assume, because they played this weekend out there. What do we got here? Portland.
they're in Brandon first.
Okay.
Brandon on Friday, then here against
Saturday. Okay, so Pats are in Moose Jaw Friday, and then home. So no kind of advantage either way there, but nice to see Portland. Haven't seen them in a couple of years.
Yeah.
And then what's schedule after that? And then the Pats, it's a Wednesday. Red Deer again, and then Edmonton here. Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, the week after. So some decent teams, right? Red Deer's decent, Edmonton's.
Now that Calgary, Lethbridge, Medicine Hat have done all their things, I wonder if Edmonton does anything.
Yeah.
They've got two high draft picks this upcoming year because they have Moose Jaw's pick and I think they have Seattle's pick.
Yeah, I don't think they're moving off Moose Jaw's pick.
Probably not. Well, Seattle too. Seattle's third worst in the league right now. So
yeah, you have two chances.
That could set them for a long time.
you could have the top two picks, right? Like
Potentially, yeah.
So, yeah, they're probably not going to move off. They have to blow you out of water to get rid of one of those picks, and then you wouldn't be giving up both. So.
No, definitely not.
No. But
yeah, what are they going to just hang out?
Stand pat?
Because the division or the conference is probably close to being set because Moose Jaw, Regina probably, unless a miracle happens, they won't make the playoffs. Red Deer's probably not going to have a chance. And I don't know.
Yeah, so
it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So current PA they're at the bottom, just sneaking into the playoffs. Yeah. So, yeah, Edmonton's 20-14. They're right in the middle. And then those other teams kind of take off. Maybe they'll drop back a bit, but yeah, interesting times, right? We'll see. Next time we chat, things will be kind of sorted.
Well, between first and eighth, there's only 7 points difference.
Yeah, I know it's wild, right?
I think it's a close. And then you go to the Western Conference, and you got Everett with 61 points.
Yeah, and then Wenatchee at the bottom at 34 and 8th. So there's quite the difference there. Because even you look at Spokane, they're the second best team. They're ranked 3 because of the divisions, but they're at 52 points. So you go from 52 to 34. If you take Everett out of the mix there, that's a pretty big gap there.
Yep.
But yeah, it's interesting times. Yeah, this East is going to be fun to watch, I think. No horse in the race this time, but like I said, it's shades of 17, 18 East Division, right? So
yeah,
quite possibly the 3 best teams in the same division in the whole league, right? But
yeah, well, can't count on Everett. Everett still might make a move.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Prince George is probably going to do something.
They probably should do something.
It's going to be an interesting next 3 days.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Seattle's got a couple pieces I'm sure they'd be willing to move, like the goalie, Ratzlaff, like Kamloops, Finney maybe available. So
yeah,
it's going to be an interesting next 2 or 3 days.
Is Ratzlaff 20?
I think he's 19.
Is he 19? Okay. Either way,
19.
He's 19. Okay, yeah. So yeah, he's probably definitely on the want list maybe for somebody. And like I said, Finney, he's had a really good season in Kamloops, so
yep,
it'd be kind of shocking for him not to go. If somebody wants to pay the price to get him, he'd be a nice addition to anybody's team
for sure. So like I said, it's going to be very interesting.
And then you look at Kelowna too. Just seeing Kelowna's name there, are they gonna move some guys? Like you said, they moved
Price.
Yeah. So are they gonna move Crystal now, Like,
Well, they gotta start building for next year.
exactly. So,
They're hosting, so
yeah. So it'd be interesting to see what they do there with Crystal. So, because he's on a tear. He's probably the best player in the league right now.
probably yeah.
I mean, it's all relative, but he's racking up some serious points. So, but yeah, we should move along here. Got Kolten Bridgeman coming up. We talked to him a couple weeks ago now.
Before Christmas, yep.
Before Christmas, yeah. But we knew it was gonna come out later. But yeah, it was a really good interview. Local kid. Yeah, super happy to be playing for the Pats, and I like his last question. We kind of didn't expand upon it because we said it was his last question, but he really, he really enjoys giving back to the community, because he was the 8, 10, 12-year-olds out there playing shitty in the Home Depot parking lot, like he said, when the Pats were doing that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So he experienced it on that side of things. So he wants to be that kid or that guy to show the kids that
Giving it back.
Giving it back, yeah. So no, yeah, really nice young man, and
we're pleased to welcome on Kolten Bridgeman of your Regina Pats. Welcome, Kolten.
Hey, Chris. How's it going?
Good. All right, so trying to get a little story on you, a little background. Born and raised in Regina?
I was, yeah.
Yeah. Hometown kid. So you have any siblings?
I have one brother. His name's Kai. He's an 08, so he's 16 right now. He plays midget AA with the Rangers.
Yeah.
So clearly he's into sports.
Yeah, he is.
The whole family's into sports, aren't they?
Yeah. Mom and dad played high-level university volleyball, and brother plays hockey, and I don't know, uncle and aunties, they're all athletic. So,
yeah. So it was just kind of a given that you were going to get into sports, wasn't it, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
So when did you start playing hockey?
I started when I was 4. Yeah. I was a little bit later than my brother. My brother was 3, but at the time my parents only played volleyball their whole lives, so they didn't know hockey too much. So. Yeah.
But they got you out, and then he come along, and so he's coming out a little earlier, right? So.
He's got a year advantage on me.
Yeah. You guys were getting into hockey. Were there other sports? Did they kind of push you to some volleyball or anything, or were they pretty relaxed and let you try what you wanted?
I was talking about this with my girlfriend the other day. She's a pretty high-level volleyball player, but they didn't push me into volleyball at all. Like, I only played school volleyball just because I wanted to try it, but in terms of other sports too, I pretty much played everything. Same as my brother. Literally every sport. Just, I don't know. I think it's good for kids to play everything and not just hockey, and just keeps you athletic and can honestly help you with your hockey game. So.
So as your career has progressed from young to a little bit younger, like, how were your parents helpful? Were they influential in you getting where you are playing hockey right now, or did they just let you do your own thing?
No, they're definitely helpful. I think I bug my dad all the time about him not really knowing hockey and just growing up on the slough back in Unity, but I think them playing high level sports they have that knowledge piece of just in anything, even in life, them having that knowledge and passing it on to me, it applies to every sport. And so yeah, they're a big help in getting me where I am. And even today, my dad's I'm impressed with him. He's picked up a lot of hockey knowledge just from us playing. So
That's good.
So do you always play D, or you dabble in forward?
I think I played forward in novice, not right out of 3-4-5, and then after that it was always defense. So.
Do you have to play goalie 1 game or 2 games?
Yeah,
back in novice?
In 3-on-3. 3-on-3. The one time I played goalie, but never again.
Yeah, that didn't go too well.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I had 1 game. It was terrible.
So who was your favorite player growing up?
WHL is Connor Hobbs or Kobe Williams. Just watching all the Pats games. NHL was probably McDavid, like every kid.
Yeah. So now that you're older, you watch guys on TV in the NHL or even in the WHL as well. Who do you kind of look at to take pieces of their game from or emulate their game?
Yeah, I watch a lot of the Oilers. I think that Matthias Ekholm, his name escaped my mind there for a second. He's a really underrated defenseman, and I try to model my game after him. He's really solid in his own end, and he can chip in offensively when he wants to. So yeah, I think he's a good guy to look at. Even Haroff, he kind of compares me to Jacob Slavin sometimes, but I haven't watched too much of him. But Ekholm seems like a pretty good guy to follow after.
Do you have a favorite hockey memory, like when you're younger, like a minor hockey memory?
Minor hockey, well, midget AA, my favorite memory. The championship in Unity, Saskatchewan, where
Going home.
yeah,
Oh,
going
parents home.
to where my dad grew up, and it was crazy. We were the first seed in whatever division we were in, and then I think they're called West Central. They were the 8th seed in playoffs, and we both just kept winning, and we kind of talked about it in like round 2 that it'd be so cool to play in Unity in the final game, and it ended up happening. It was a surreal experience just to have all my dad's family there, and just to win it. It was awesome.
Would have been a nice loud crowd, hey?
Yeah, it was packed. Yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
think the whole town was there.
Nice. You played minor hockey throughout the Regina system. Ever considered doing the academy thing?
No, I didn't even. I've never even looked into it.
No.
No.
Yeah. It's it's picking up steam. There's basically it's half and half now, right? So it's lots of guys doing that thing, but
Yeah.
it's not for everybody, right?
Yeah.
You didn't get drafted in the WHL. What were your kind of expectations there? Do you have any discussions with teams, or are you kind of just like, if it happens, it happens. Doesn't. What was your mindset kind of
Yeah.
there?
I didn't have any discussions with anyone.
No?
I got one questionnaire from Tri-City that obviously didn't work out, but I was just kind of seeing my buddies go by and hoping that my name would come up, but it didn't, and honestly, I'm happy for that. Like, look where I get to play in Regina, and I got to play in my hometown, which is awesome. So
Yeah. So initially, did that motivate you not getting drafted?
Oh yeah. I think right around that time when was the draft? October, or it was right.
Was that the late one?
It was because of COVID.
Yeah.
And right around that time too, they were picking midget AAA rosters, and at that same time, I didn't get picked for the Pack Canadians, and that was just. My dad always kind of says that you can either do two things in that situation. You can either step up and try to be your best and get better, or you can just kind of sit back and let it happen. And I tried to step up, and fortunately enough, it kind of worked out. So
How soon after did you get listed by the Pats?
I think it was a couple months. It was in
Just
January,
not too long,
I'm pretty
yeah.
sure.
Okay.
Got a call from Dale McMullen from BC. I saw it come up. I think I was off school that day, and it was from BC, and I was like, BC number, I'm not answering this. So declined Dale McMullen's call, and then he texted me a couple minutes later, like, hey Kolten, Dale McMullen, we'd like to list you to the Pats, and then called him right back, called my dad. It was the best thing ever.
Yeah. Sounded like Dale Durkach was pretty instrumental being kind of the local scout here, wasn't he?
Yeah, and the thing with Dale is, I've been working with him for so long since Adam's second year. I was on Dace's team, so
Yeah.
Dale's been a huge part of my hockey journey and hockey career, and he's been there in every step of the way, even up to last year or 2 years ago with the Pack Canadians, and then now obviously this year with being the assistant GM, he's been awesome.
No, that's good.
How did it feel to step on the ice wearing a Pats jersey for the first time?
Oh, it was awesome.
Even in training camp, just
Yeah, it was. I remember my mom and dad trying to get as many pictures as possible and getting all the pictures from the Instagram. It was awesome. And then the first game, I was actually it was the home opener, and we were in our Reds, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. The barn was packed, like Bedard was on the team, so yeah, it was crazy. I loved it.
You went back, and I know I asked John Paddock about this, and he's like, you didn't make the Pat Cs, but you went back and really applied yourself at that AA season. And how do you think that season translated into that next year making the Pat Cs?
Yeah, I think I maybe could have went to another AAA team if I wanted to, but I think staying back in AA, it was great for my development. I think it was a great coaching staff. Bryce Platt was there, ex-Pat.
Yeah.
He helped me a bunch, and I think the opportunities that I was put in, like I got to run the power play a bunch, and I got to skate with the puck and not be afraid to make mistakes. And it also helped that we were on a really good team that helped me grow as a player. But yeah, all those things combined just really helped me get to to where I was the next year and then to now. So
You had something to prove, and you proved it.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah. Then you got a few games in there that first season. Obviously it was quite the thing to be playing for your hometown team. But what was it like on the ice, like going from that AA to that WHL level?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I think I played just like a couple AAA games in between there, just APing that year. So the jump was pretty big. A lot faster, stronger guys. So it was a little bit hard at first, but as I got my speed or my wind under me and my legs, it kind of got better. So.
Was there much consideration with Flin Flon? I know they were pretty interested in you. I heard that they wanted you to come, but was there any consideration going there?
Yeah, the week leading up to my first Pats camp, I was in Flin Flon for their whole fall camp, I guess. And then they said they had interest. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
But I think all along I really wanted to be a Regina Pat and play in my hometown. So, although it was nice to have that experience, and I really think it helped me get signed that year to go to Flin Flon first and kind of get a taste of it. My mind was set on Regina. So
yeah, once they had listed you, it was kind of like, okay, I'll see how the Pats thing plays out, and then you can always fall back per se to the Flin Flon situations. So this season it seems like a guy like John Babcock. What has he meant to your game? He really seems like the veteran, kind of the leadership, especially on that back end, right?
Yeah, a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience in this league, and he's a great guy to be deep partners with. Lots of talk out there. He's always in the right spot. So. He's been good to just help me with little things and improve my game. So hopefully I maybe get drafted this year. So
That'd be nice, eh? So with your first full season, how did it feel to win the Rookie and the Scholastic Player of the Year?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I think going into the year I didn't have any expectations of anything. I was just trying to make the team. So it was pretty cool to end up at the end of the year. I think I got put in some really good spots with injuries and stuff. But it was pretty cool to get those awards.
What's your favorite subject in school?
I really liked earth science or like environmental science, and then entrepreneurship.
Nice.
Yeah.
You get your smarts from mom or dad?
I think both. Yeah.
Smart answer.
You got a goal last year. How'd that feel? You got one.
Yeah. It was a little bit of a scrappy goal. Kind of dumped her in and poked away from the goalie, got back to the front of the net, and it was just sitting there with an open net. So it was, I'd like to have maybe a little bit of a prettier goal before it all ends, but hopefully you never know in the second half.
Yeah.
So going into the season, how have you approached it differently, knowing that the NHL are kind of watching a little bit extra this year?
I try not to think about it. I think when you start thinking about those things, you change your game to not what the team wants and what you want, and it's not the way to do it. I think I just got to stick to myself and stick to what the coaches want and hope that I get noticed. So
just play your game. Eh?
Yep, exactly.
So after hockey's done, whenever that is, what's something you could see yourself doing?
I really want to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I have a lawn mowing business in Regina here that I do in the summers, but anything after hockey, if it all goes to plan, I can just kind of have a good go at an entrepreneur venture, I guess. So that would be pretty cool.
Maybe sports related or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
You got lots of time for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Down the line.
Any reason you were number 4, or was it just one of those things that they gave you?
Yeah, funny story. I actually got put with number 4. Well, actually, growing up, I always wanted number 4 when I was kind of figuring out my number. And then the coach's kid took number 4, so I had to go to number 5, and I wore 5 my whole life. And then Hooner put me in 4 to start, and then I asked to change to 5 this summer. And then sometime in July, I just kind of clicked out of it that I think I earned number 4 with the Pats and getting here, so I think I should just let it ride. And I texted Hooner and told him it's off, so I stayed with number 4.
Nice.
I liked Taylor Hall growing up.
Yeah. And Babcock can return to 5. He started with 5.
Yeah.
So
It worked out, eh?
Yeah, it did.
In the summer, you said you got your little gig going. What else do you like to do? Get away from the rink, relax. What else do you do?
I'd like to say I'm an all right golfer.
Yeah.
Like hitting the lake sometimes, but just getting out to the lake at my girlfriend's lake, she's got a pretty nice spot, so it's fun to get out there, hit the sea-doos, the pontoon. The golf out there is pretty good too. So.
Very good.
Are you a TV movie watcher?
Not overly, no.
No. Okay. Well, can't ask you what your favorite TV show is then, I guess.
Probably Brooklyn Nine-Nine. If
Brooklyn
I had to say
Nine-Nine?
something.
What about music? Are you into music?
Even less of a music guy.
Really?
No.
Wow.
Radio.
Radio?
Yeah. Just flip on the radio, whatever's on's on.
92.1 or 98.9.
Nice.
Yeah.
What are you driving these days?
I'm driving a 2017 Nissan Altima.
There you go. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna switch with my grandma though, so she's
Okay.
gonna get a new car, and then I'm gonna take her a Nissan Murano, just
Okay.
all-wheel drive and
Yeah,
a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit better in the winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any superstitions?
Yeah, I said this on our TikTok the other day. I get to the rink at 4:44 every day, or I walk in the doors at 4:44 on game days. It's kind of just a thing I did last year and sort of continued this year. So
Now is it a little late because the 6 o'clock starts on Saturdays now?
yeah, not for 6 o'clock
Yeah,
games.
yeah.
I was here. Well,
3:44?
today it was different, but usually it'd be 3:44.
Yeah.
But today was a little bit early check-in. Yeah.
Your tape job, do you do the same thing all the time? White, black?
It's always black.
Not a goal scorer? You got to go black?
I don't know, but my dad always tells me the goalies, it's harder to see the puck with black, so I kind of stuck with that. But always heel to toe, full blade, never really change it.
Yeah.
What's your favorite bus activity?
Sleeping,
Sleeping?
yeah. Love to lay down and sleep.
You had a lot of time on the bus on that road trip. What
Yeah.
was it like without the Wi-Fi and stuff on the way there?
It wasn't actually too bad. There was like a couple 2-hour spurts with no Wi-Fi, but you can just sleep during that or play cards with the boys. It was a fun road trip.
Or
I liked it.
Mafia?
Yeah, Mafia. Is that what Piner was saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to the jerseys, what do you like best? The classic blue and whites or these new, the all red and whites?
I don't like the whites as much, but I really like the reds. Reds are my favorite.
Okay, well, one last question before you're done here.
Okay.
What does it mean for you to play for the Pats?
I think it means a lot. I'll say that. Growing up, obviously this is my hometown. Growing up watching all my favorite Pats and just kind of being a part of the whole atmosphere of the Brandt Center and everyone gathering in at 7 o'clock. It's a surreal thing to be kind of a part of it now, and I think it's going to be even better when we get into playoff time here and hopefully make the playoffs and hopefully the barn's packed, and I think it'll just be awesome. It means a lot to even now just give back to the community, just with skates and kind of community appearances. I think growing up, going to play shinny and in the Home Depot parking lot was the best thing ever as a kid. So I look back on those things and remember how awesome it was, and I got to give back to the community too. So it means a lot.
Good. Great. Thank you very much for your time tonight.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Thanks, Kolten.
All right. Yeah, I guess we should wrap it up here. Any closing thoughts there, Kevin? It's gonna be a wild week, I think here.
Just interesting next couple of days. I want the roster to be finalized so people can quit complaining about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go Pats.
Yeah. Well, with that, we'll see you at the rink this weekend. Have a good night.
Have a good one.
Here comes Guard to hand it off at center ice. Jackson Pewter cutting to his right. In over the Regina line. Loading. Fires past save. Rebound. What a save by Pine. Pats in transition. Here comes Caden Brown back the other way. Spins off a check. Brown into the slot. Loading. Can't get a shot away. Now to Whitehead. He scores! Overtime winner. Braxton Whitehead. What a rocket from the top of the left circle on a centering pass from Caden Brown. And this game is over.